whatever you wind up doing is exactly what you should be doing.
And I have not behaved one single day of my life. Not one day of my life have I behaved, and I am fine.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're going to hurt some people.
Whose car are we going to take?
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on the Nikki Medoro Show. We have a great show planned. We will, of course, be getting into the lead up to Thanksgiving. It's crazy today, apparently, at the airports around the Bay Area and San Francisco and what have you. It's only going to get busier, especially on the roadways as well. We'll get into the OpenAI thing now. The latest that I just read, if you've been following the fallout of OpenAI, Sam Altman and other people were let go. And then they're going to go to Microsoft. And now The Verge is reporting that OpenAI is trying to get them back, but it has serious repercussions for San Francisco if OpenAI, all of the employees, like hundreds of employees, have written a letter saying, unless Sam Altman and everyone comes back, we're out. And they're only going to come back if the board leaves. So it's really like drama. And yeah, it's really going to be interesting to see. Yeah.
I mean, he must really inspire people. That many people want to quit their jobs. They're like, we're leaving if he's gone.
Exactly.
Wow.
Well, and it's going to bring the technology over to Microsoft. Also, just location wise, Microsoft's in Seattle. OpenAI is in San Francisco. You're going to lose all of that talent to Seattle if you let them go. Right. I mean, that's just from a business sense. It's going to have huge repercussions. And so we'll get into that. We have a couple updates on that. I do want to start the show a few ways. First off, most importantly, happy birthday to the love of my life, my husband, James.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, my love. I love you.
Happy birthday, Mr. Medoro.
I know. Mr. Medoro. Yeah, so now it's ended. We're only the same age. My birthday just passed on the 26th of October. His birthday is today. And so we're only 45, like for this very short period of time. So he's 46, officially older than me, and just as gorgeous as ever. I'm going to be I asked him what he wanted. Oh, this was something else I know we haven't touched on too much. I wanted to make him a special dinner. And he's, trying to eat healthier and all those sorts of things. I'm like, but what do you want? Do you want steak? Do you want this, that? And he's like, you can make me a crab sandwich. I was like, well, the Dungeness crab season's again delayed. Yeah. 5 years in a row now, the Dungeness crab season has been put off. ABC7 was interviewing a bunch of people, and I love this quote. I wanted to read it. This one crab fisherman was like, you have to be ready. I'm just making sure all the gear's lined up and in good condition. Crab is one of those things when it starts and the gun goes off and you go, it's like a piñata. The candy drops, and you better be ready. You ever watch The Deadliest Catch? My husband and I used to watch that show all the time.
Love that show. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like the crab will just move away. You'll drop your pots. It'll tell you they're in one area. And then like a day later, they've moved on. Mm-hmm. And so you could just imagine, and I understand the crab quality and the humpback whales. It's two things that have delayed the season again. But yeah, so no fresh crab. I wanted to make him a crab sandwich. I was going to try to find the recipe for the one that you get at the ballpark, at the Giants ballpark, because it's so good. It's literally the only reason why I go to baseball games there, because it's just so good. But you can't get fresh crab. I guess I could get, the canned or the lump crab or whatever and just do it that way. But then he was like, well, we could do lobster. So I'm going to try to make lobster rolls tonight for his birthday. I've never made lobster rolls. I've never made lobster. So we're going to give it a shot. But I did have a lot of people emailing me yesterday regarding my Danish that I made. And I apologize. I had forgotten to give it the most important part of the recipe, which is, of course, how long the hell do I cook it and at what temperature? It's 400 degrees for 15 minutes. Now, the recipe is very easy. I'm going to post it after the show. I'll post it in the show notes here, and then I'll post it on my socials. It's easy. 4 ounces of cream cheese, the block that you get, cut that in half. 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, an entire teaspoon of vanilla, and that's it. You blend it together. You get puff pastry, 1 sheet, put it 6 triangles, score a little rectangles, score a little rectangle in the middle of each one, smear the deliciousness right in the middle, and then pop it in the oven for 400 for 15 minutes. Delicious. Delicious. Oh, SJ Lola says you can get Dungeness crab, but it comes from Washington State. Well, I was going to go to like Lenardi's or something and see what they have. I was going to take, the guy behind the counter's advice. Lobster is very easy to cook. Be careful. That's what I was going to do. I was going to do a butter poach. That's what I hear. Very slow, low. Don't overcook it because it gets rubbery. We had great crab from Washington, purchased from Costco. Not going to Costco. I literally just went to Costco not too long ago with my husband. Like last week, we got our turkey and everything.
Did you find the cheesecake, the pumpkin cheesecake?
You know what? We left and I freaking forgot to look for. I was like, damn it! But it's okay because I'm assuming they're going to still have it for a while. At least I hope. And my mother-in-law's bringing a pumpkin pie. And so I don't need a 5-pound cheesecake in my house because I'm going to be the only ones to eat it. So we don't need to do that.
Janet says she did a search, found the video for the Danish. She's making them tonight.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, Janet.
Thank you. And send me a picture. Like, it's so freaking, was it the Asian dude that was in your video, Janet? Because that's who I got. And it's so easy. It was so easy. And I brought him over to my mom and dad's house yesterday. My mom ate hers right when I brought it. My dad texted me this morning because he had his. And he's like, it was delicious. I'm like, thank you. Just so good. So when you find an easy recipe like that, I'm going to show you guys after Thanksgiving the recipe I'm going to make for my everything bagel cream cheese thingies. So I'll try a bunch of those. And thank you. And I apologize because I don't have my email up right now. Somebody sent me some recommendations for a cookbook. So remember, in the new year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a cookbook. I'm not going to do a bunch. I think this is going to be fun to do. I'm going to find a cookbook. I want easy recipes. I was doing a search, like 5-ingredient meals or something simple, because I know not all of us want to go shopping every time we want to make something out of a recipe book, right? I like to find recipes like my Danish where you have most of it. Maybe you have to go get puff pastry, but that's it. So I'm going to try to find a cookbook, and then throughout the year, I'm going to go through it and make recipes for our Friday food segment, because it's hard for me to go to restaurants. I'll still visit restaurants and do reviews, but I think that would be fun too. So if you have any recommendations, of course, you can email them to me. Okay, so hold on. I'm seeing something here. Okay. There's no secret, Brian. Anyways, okay, let's get some business out of the way. We'll get into the show. Oh, can't forget this though. Hold on. This is for Jan, who emailed me, Kim. I had forgotten the most important thing when we did the box of my favorite things. Lori Above the Bar knows the person who bought the tickets. Okay. The raffle tickets.
Sasha. Right?
Sasha.
Yeah.
And so I announced that, but Sasha fell ill and unfortunately was not able to go to the bar when I dropped off the box. But Lori was like, the plan was already set. We didn't want to reschedule, which was great because Lori knows her, so she gave her the box. Sasha started feeling better. Here she is with the box. So there's Sasha. Hello, Sasha. Hopefully you're watching, and there's the box filled with all of my favorite things. And again, I've also created a list where you can buy some of my favorite things that I'm adding to. It's my link tree. But yeah, there she is. She looks happy. She looks well. So I'm glad that she seems to be on the mend. And yeah, you can just go to my link tree. There it is on the screen. I put it in my socials. It's in the show notes as well. And I keep adding some of my favorite things. So if you want to check it out, you could do that there. Yeah.
Is it stupid that I'm thinking about buying that game for everyone in my family?
No, I'm telling you. Look, and I'm just going to say this. And
she really likes it. It must be really good. Maybe I'll just get that. Like everyone gets one. Yeah.
Dylan, my son, I was talking about the Game of Life. We played the Game of Life like twice last night. I think that this time of year especially is great for that sort of thing. But I'm telling you, the great thing I like about Otrio, it doesn't have little parts. There's no little pegs like life, no little cars, no dice, no nothing. Well, no, I'm lying. The pegs in the middle of the circle, there are those, but you just keep all those in a bag, but there's not a ton of parts. It's literally just the circles and the peg in the middle, and it's so easy. It is. I like it. I mean, I'm giving you my huge recommendation, and I won't recommend anything unless I really truly like it, right? And most of the time, the things that I recommend, not only have I purchased, but people I know have purchased. So go check it out. Otrio is so much fun. Kim, if you want to buy it for your family, try it out and see if anybody else likes it, or that if you like it and then you think somebody else is going to like it. Try out the game. No harm, no foul. And what do you have? Another board game in your house? Everybody loves board games. Otrio, there it is. Thank you, Harry, for starting us off with a $5 donation.
Hey.
Say It Ain't So, the upcoming Rolling Stones tour, Mick is 80, is sponsored by AARP.
No.
AARP, you can't make this up. Is that true, or are you making a joke?
I don't know.
Hold on.
It's Harry, so it could be a joke.
Hold on. He says you can't make this up. Hold on.
You might have gotten
Nope,
this
it
with this
is.
one,
Early
Is it
access
true?
to the Rolling Stones.
Oh my God, Harry, that's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Really?
That is so funny. Hold on. I'm going to
Nick.
show you. Look at this. Look at the website. Hold on. Look at the website. It's smart advertising. There it is. AARP right at the top. Early access to Rolling Stone tickets for AARP. But do you know this?
Funny.
Did you know that we could be AARP members? You don't have to be over the age of whatever it is, 56 years old.
How old do you have to be?
You don't have to be any age. You could join the AARP at any time.
Okay.
I'm almost positive. I'm looking right now. I am almost positive anybody can join the AARP. You can let me know if I'm wrong, but I saw somewhere, I definitely read somewhere that anybody can join. Now, I don't think you could go into a restaurant and get the senior discount, right? But you can get other discounts, I think, from the AARP. It makes a good business sense also. So, like get younger people to join, then they're already signed up when they do turn that age. Debbie says, I just made my first pumpkin cheesecake from the recipe online, got rave reviews. The recipe is a keeper and it's not hard at all. Those are the best kind of recipes. So I want to find a cookbook like that, right? Something that we could share together. Look, I memorized that Danish recipe that I just gave you guys. Memorized it. That's the kind of recipes I want, right? Remember when I did my peanut noodle sauce? I could tell you guys that right off the bat. It's not difficult. And once you get these sort of things, they're just in your repertoire all the time. Oh, let's see. JR says, make your hubby a lobster roll and an Entenmann's cheese crumble for dessert. So I was brainstorming a little bit. Now, my Danish was so easy. And I was thinking to myself, what if you just made an easy, like cinnamon kind of crumble? And when you did the egg wash, kind of pressed it around the outside of the Danish. I could see that working, perhaps. Maybe I'll experiment a tad bit and we'll figure that out. All right. Let's click that thumbs up button to show your support for the show, please. And thank you. I love it. YouTube loves it. It helps us out. The super chat is live. Again, thank you to Harry and the Rolling Stones AARP News Alert for donating to our super chat. You could be like Harry. Just look for the $ in the live chat box where you guys are all hanging out. And you can throw us a super thanks, a super comment. And the money we depend on as well. And we really appreciate you guys. Even if you donate during the replay. I know Kim goes in, I go in, we read the comments. Yeah. And so we really do appreciate each and every dollar. And then again, please sign up to be an official Medorable. TheNikkiMedoroShow.com is where you go. And our Patreon button is right there. So you click on the Patreon. You donate what you can afford once a month, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a day if you want to for the show. That'd be like what? So we do it 5 days a week, $20, $20 a month. If you could afford it, that'd be awesome. If it's less than that, if it's more than that, we really do appreciate each donation. And I totally understand people. This is the holidays. People are watching their pennies. And so, yeah, any dollar amount, we really do appreciate. We also take PayPal. So go to paypal.com. The email address is the show's email. TheNikkiMedoroShow@gmail.com. Yeah.
Speaking of the show email, Debbie, can you send the link for your fabulous cheesecake you just
Yeah.
made?
There you go. Send it along. I love cheesecake. It's my favorite. It's the only kind of thing I like to eat. And then, of course, there's the merch shop, the NikkiMedoroShop.com. And then, yeah, you can also go to my favorite things. That's in the show notes because the web address is kind of funky. And that's where I post a bunch of my favorite things for you guys to buy, especially during the holidays. So support the show any way you can because we really do appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to do some headlines. When we come back, we'll get a little bit more into Thanksgiving. Kim will give an update the pandemic happening inside her house. No, just kidding. But it is something you need to watch this year. I have to take my daughter in for, some blood work and everything next week. And you got to start wearing your masks again. That's basically what the message is. And then how do you feel this Thanksgiving? It seems there's this narrative of, oh my God, inflation. Well, I'll play you a clip from the White House showing, prices are down in a lot of areas, especially for the Thanksgiving table. But are you feeling it, right? Where are you not feeling it? And is it just kind of this narrative that we have playing in our heads that's not actually playing out on our receipts? Also, we'll get into the OpenAI drama and all of that. Again, click the thumbs up button. And here is Kim with some headlines.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
A tentative deal between Israel and Hamas to release hostages has been reached. That is what we know. The deal would include multi-day ceasefire, and around 50 Israeli and international hostages would be freed in different waves, with more eventually to follow. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he hopes there will be good news soon related to these hostage negotiations. There's some severe storms and snow kind of getting in the way of Thanksgiving travel. The National Weather Service Prediction Center posted on X saying there are two main storm systems that will affect the U.S., particularly in the south and on the east coast. They predict heavy rain and thunderstorms along the coast up to the mid-Atlantic and a wintry mix possible in New England. So if you're headed there, or someone that you're dropping off at the airport, again, it's one of those call ahead situations. Former President Trump appealing the ruling in a lawsuit that sought to keep him off the ballot in Colorado. The Colorado judge ruled Trump did engage in insurrection by inciting the 2021 Capitol riot, but the judge tossed the lawsuit after concluding that the 14th Amendment doesn't apply to the presidency. Trump's legal team in the appeal said they agree with the latter part of the ruling, but they challenged the judge's finding that Trump incited the attack. Replacing animal products with plant-based options could reduce the risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. A comprehensive review published in the journal BMC Medicine stresses the potential health advantages of incorporating more plant-based foods into the diet. One expert says it's the first look at a wide range of health issues associated with the switching of animal-based food for plant-based food. Several previously owned homes, sales of previously owned homes fell to their lowest level in 13 years in October. The National Association of Realtors says existing home sales declined 4% last month to an annual rate of fewer than 3.8 million units. The group's chief economist said high mortgage rates and the lack of inventory are keeping many prospective buyers on the sidelines. Is this the time where we finally get some cooling off of home prices in the Bay Area?
That doesn't happen here. No.
How far? Yeah, that hasn't happened
here.
It
doesn't happen here. Every time they say it, I'm like, oh, but except here, because, do you ever think that do we really think the average price of a home in the Bay Area is going to drop below $1 million?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Unless something dramatic happens, like we accelerate. I was just reading, sorry to interrupt, but a side note.
No, go.
San Francisco is about to miss its deadline, its housing deadline thing where they're supposed to submit all this stuff, which of course triggers that builder's remedy or whatever. And we lose control of where we can put housing. Now they're trying to fix it. I think next week they're going to be reaching out to whatever department they have to. But you would have thought that this would be priority number one. Now I know APEC was here, but when these deadlines are coming and then cities and counties or whatever just arbitrarily let them go by, then it's not a crisis, right? If it's a crisis, we treat it like a crisis. And so, no, I don't foresee. What does cooling off mean? Because I don't know that it's normal for people to be able to afford, and I mean afford and not be house poor, $1 million plus house. I don't. It was so funny. Last week, my husband sending me all these pictures of homes, right? Like in our neighborhood that he drove by. And then finally I'm like, did you hit the lottery? Like, are you trying to tell me something? Because why are you sending me pictures of houses we will never buy? I just, I don't, I can't, unless it's under $1 million. And then even then, I mean, we just don't want to be house poor. I don't want to just hang out in a house all day and not have any money to do anything else. It's lame.
Well, am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Okay, well, I was going to say that the question I have is, yes, it's expensive now, but it seems like it keeps going up. Like it keeps rising.
Right.
And I just look at it and I think, how much can it keep rising before, like, it just, no one is available, no one can buy anything ever.
Well, the problem in the Bay Area is there are people that can buy because the disparity between the very, very rich and I will just say the middle class, like low middle class, medium, just middle class is huge. I mean, you're talking about, and I know people in my daily life that make $3, $4, $500,000 a year. I mean, I look at them and I go, must be really nice, right? And then you have a double income house of people making, not just six figures. Like, I'm not even talking like $100,000 salary. Well past that. That's who you're competing against. So there's not always, but it seems like at least in this area, there is always going to be someone that makes enough money to keep those prices up. Because if nobody's buying it, then nobody's buying it and the price has to come down. But there are people that will buy it. And again, we always say this, it's the sunshine tax. It's gorgeous out here. I'm not going to spend $1 million or plus in Arizona, like when I could spend the same amount and buy a house in some place where it's not hell on earth, right? Like the weather's gorgeous and there's the ocean and all of that. So you can't compete. You just can't. You just gotta make more money, basically, or leave.
Yeah, and then Square talking about the property taxes too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's such a sad situation because our kids are never going to be able to buy here.
Well, when people say that, I agree. But at the same time, and we've talked about this before, there's a lot of places in the country that I don't think that I would be able to afford, right? And it's a huge assumption that your kids would even want to live here. I mean, yes, it's gorgeous and all that, but like, for instance, Kim, and maybe I would say more my grandkids, because like, Kim, you own a house here. You're paying a mortgage on a house. So I'm assuming your kids will always have a house, one to come back and visit to. And then obviously, if you want to pass it down to them and they want to eventually live in the house, they have a house. Now, their kids are going to have a problem. But by that point, I mean, I think that the ocean's just going to swallow up California at that point. I mean,
is that it? Don't worry about it.
Resigned ourselves to climate change. Yeah.
We're going to have to move inland anyway. So
I'm not making light of
get to higher ground.
Exactly. Like, who knows what the world's going to look like? And I'm being flippant, but I'm not. Like, who knows? Who knows what the world's going to look like in 25 years? I don't know.
The California Supreme Court is handing a win to Pacific Gas and Electric. Justices ruled that customers cannot sue the utility over safety-related power shutoffs. The unanimous decision cited the regulatory jurisdiction of the California Public Utilities Commission, adding the litigation would interfere with the agency's authority. PG&E recently emerged from bankruptcy after being saddled by billions of dollars in liabilities related to wildfires caused by company equipment.
It's so upsetting. And again, I know you guys are like, where's Loretta? She's in Venice. And she said she's going to give me a ring next month in December when she comes back. And we'll get her on to talk about all of this nonsense. Now, the line where it would reduce the CPUC's ability to regulate made me laugh out loud this morning when I was listening to the news report. I'm like, what the hell do they regulate? They are PG&E. The CPUC, you know that meme where like it's the Scooby-Doo meme where they pull the freaking mask off? Same thing. It's the same thing. The CPUC, PG&E, there's no watch. There's no oversight. There's nothing there.
The 10 freeway underpass near downtown Los Angeles, where a massive fire broke out more than a week ago, failed an inspection months earlier.
Oh, I thought you said failed an inspection yesterday when everyone was riding on it.
It failed months earlier.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
no.
Interesting.
Combustible liquids and piles of pallets were stored under the freeway in an area leased out by Caltrans. The
Oh.
fire is being investigated as an arson. The Caltrans program leases more than 600 spaces under the freeway bridges with restrictions on what can be stored there. Governor
Wood?
Gavin Newsom.
How about wood?
Combustible oil? I don't know.
Things like that.
Seems like a bad idea. Governor Gavin Newsom's office has ordered an assessment of the enforcement of those restrictions and the lease program itself. Preliminary results are expected on Wednesday. Sneezing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yep. Oh, sorry. I was like, what happened to Kim? Are you okay, Kim? I don't hear you. Hold on. Do you mean to be muted?
Now I was sneezing.
Okay, sorry.
Hold on.
Bless you,
Sneezing
bless
one more
you.
time. Sneezing.
Sneezing. Okay. It's really funny that you mentioned sneezing. My allergies have been kicking up and I have no idea.
Oh
I
my
must have sneezed like
God.
50 times last night.
I
And my
hope I
husband
don't
looked at me,
have
he's like, get
COVID.
it together.
Oh, every time. And then it's when someone in your house has COVID, every time something happens, like you sneeze, you're like,
Oh
oh,
God, yeah.
oh, I feel a little stuffed up this morning. I think
exactly.
maybe I have COVID. Oh God, this is
happened?
the worst. Did you hear me? Did
Bless
you hear
you,
my
bless
sneeze?
you.
That's a
Yeah.
big loud sneeze. Yeah. Thanks for unmuting that one. All right.
Sorry. What happened?
Oh, okay. Theaters are preparing for a busy Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh,
Disney's
yay.
new animated film, Wish, and the historical drama Napoleon from director Ridley Scott headline the new releases hitting movie screens for Thanksgiving weekend. Wish, which features the voices of Chris Pine and Ariana DeBose, is expected to bring in $45 million to $50 million dollars in the first 5 days. Meanwhile, Napoleon is tracking to earn $22 million dollars between Wednesday and Sunday. And didn't we talk about Napoleon
With Tim
just
Sika.
recently with him? He
Yeah.
didn't love it, right?
No, he said that it
Yeah.
was very superficial and that it didn't really get into the man behind, like that was truly Napoleon, that there was so much more about him. But, some people might enjoy it. I don't know. It would never be at the top of my list. I don't know if I would ever see Napoleon. I did see Hunger Games though. That was really good. So
Okay.
that's my rec.
Lastly, I wanted to tell you the story, and I had forgotten it. Everyone on board okay after a Navy surveillance plane overshot a runway in Hawaii and ended up right in Kaneohe Bay.
Oh
This
no.
happened last night. 9 people were aboard the plane. No injuries reported. We don't know about the coral reef in the area, but hey, the
Oh,
plane
yeah,
was on
true.
approach to the Marine Corps Air Station, Kaneohe Bay. Everyone on board evacuated once that plane went into the water. But yeah,
Ooh.
the pilot of that
Oops.
is never going to live it down.
Oh,
Can you
God, no.
imagine how much he's
No.
going to be ridiculed by everyone every single day of his life? Oh, that's the guy that put the surveillance jet into Kaneohe Bay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like now you've got a reputation. Sorry.
Hey, how's the water, Captain? You know?
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, at least they survived though. Thank God.
Oh, and let's make this the last story. And I know you
Okay.
wanted to talk about this, but San Jose is getting its own edition of Monopoly.
Yes. Let's talk about it now then. I am so excited about this.
The popular board game is replacing traditional spots with local San Jose landmarks and businesses. For instance, instead of Boardwalk, you'll be able to see the Winchester Mystery
Yeah,
House.
that's really
An
cool.
Italian restaurant becomes the new Park Place. The mayor says the city has a great deal of history to be proud of and celebrate, and that game is on sale now.
And
I
did
have a San Francisco Monopoly.
I love this. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to San Jose that often, but we have the world's largest Monopoly outdoor one in Discovery Park that you can play. Like it's the largest Monopoly board. It's just oversized and everything, and it's in Discovery Park. And so it totally makes sense that we get our own. But yeah, I want to buy this just to have it. I don't like playing Monopoly. It is literally hell on earth for me. I don't have the patience for it. But I think that this is really, really cool. And it's, my hometown. So I definitely have to get it. San Jose State University, San Pedro Square, even the Rose Garden are on the board. The Valley Transportation Authority, our light rails take over the railroad spots, apparently. So yeah, it looks really, really cool. Let's see. I'm trying to read what other things are on I think Peter's Bakery is on there, I think. So that's pretty cool. Does the burnt almond cake and everything like that. So anyways, that's a pretty cool gift for people that live in the South Bay. So if you're
Yeah.
a Monopoly fan, I would say, yeah. Original Joe's, yes, I think is on that board as well. So yeah, it should be really, really cool to see. And I definitely want to get one. So maybe I'll get that for Dylan. He loves Monopoly. I'm like, ugh, no way.
I like Monopoly. It's fun.
No, it takes too long. I like
My-
games that were like there's a like Life. We played Life. So my son and I played it together once. Him and my husband played it once, and then all three of us played it together. So we played it 3 times last night. You can't do that with Monopoly. Nobody wants to play that freaking game all night long. It takes forever. And then everyone gets aggravated because somebody gets greedy. You know, nobody needs capitalism on Thanksgiving.
Calvin makes a good point. He says, I wonder if the game pieces will be the same or different.
Ooh, I'm
What, like a
trying to
little Apple
see.
computer, a little G for Google.
That would be
That'd be funny.
fun.
Yeah.
I don't see anything more. I just see the I'm looking at the picture right now while you talk. I don't know. It's cool. So yeah, that'll be a great gift for people from the South Bay or anyone from the Bay Area. So
Vilma, I have outgrown this game. After a while, you know who's going to win. I'll pass.
Yeah.
My husband always wins.
my husband always wins too. He has the patience of Job. You know what I mean? Like he could just totally do it.
Yeah.
A shark piece would be
Yep.
fun.
San Jose Sharks. That's
Oh.
right.
Yeah, I mean, it would just be a computer would be cool.
They should have asked for input.
I'm sure they did. I just
Eh.
probably not that I would have probably given any of my input. Just play the game and make it a collector's item that I can put in my game closet forever and a day. So we'll be
This-
talking about another fun game coming up later in the show that I wanted to play, but I never did it. So we'll talk about that.
For some reason, your voice is cutting out a little bit. This
sorry.
report is sponsored by you, and that means we do rely on you to help us crowdfund this show. You'll find us at thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com. That's where all the links are, the Patreon link, the PayPal link, all the ways to help the show, and a lot more as well. I'm Kim McAllister. This is The Nikki Medoro Show.
Thank you, Kim. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about Thanksgiving and how you guys are feeling this Thanksgiving. Now, Kim, I know you had shared yesterday, unfortunately, that over the weekend, Kim does not, I saw the question, Kim does not have COVID.
Although I might.
No.
Good Lord.
Hopefully she doesn't.
I don't
No.
usually sneeze in the middle of a newscast. That's a new one.
It happens. I sneezed.
Yeah.
I'm not even exaggerating, like 10 times yesterday in a row. But her daughter, unfortunately, has contracted COVID. She's fine, right? I mean, you're trying to keep an eye on her, but it's
She
hard.
seems okay. She's very congested. She has a
Right.
sore throat and she has a cough.
Typical symptoms, right?
Typical
So-
symptoms. She's been in her room. Happy Thanksgiving break to her, right?
I know.
I can hear her. She's FaceTiming with some buddies, so I can hear her in there giggling.
Yeah.
She seems to be in good spirits. Although
I mean,
she
doesn't
left.
it seem like a teenager? Like, is this punishment? Like, oh, I have to hang out in my room with my electronics all day.
Exactly.
Is that different? Like, my
We're-
daughter would be like, okay, it's a Tuesday.
We're leaving each other notes in the bathroom.
Oh,
the bathroom
I love
counter.
that.
So I'll leave her something, she wanted an apple the other day. And also I'm having her take Mucinex just to kind of keep the phlegm at
Phlegm
bay.
and everything, yeah.
So I leave her like a little cup in the evening and I'll write her a little like love note and then she'll write me a note back. And she did say, I'm going stir crazy in here, Mom.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
you can't leave, like it's one thing if you just want to veg out in your room all day, but when
Mm-hmm.
you can't leave, that was me. I remember when I had COVID, you know me. I'm a movie like fanatic. My day sitting watching movie after movie after movie, heaven. I didn't want to watch anything. It's because I had no other choice, right? So I read or I wrote or I was just so bored. It
Yeah.
sucks. Does she have a fever, Kim?
She said yesterday that she felt a little delirious.
Oh.
So I think she does. I have not taken her fever.
Or her temperature? Do you
Her
have one of
her
those like
temperature,
electronic ones?
Yeah, I do. We'll have to do it today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely do that. Well, anyways, if you are planning on traveling, keep it in mind that COVID obviously is out there. Here's a little news report about what people are doing as they travel this Thanksgiving holiday.
I would certainly wear a mask in the,
Uh-oh.
especially if you're going long distances.
Mask up as COVID cases go up.
So we unfortunately
There's
will
your guy.
expect a
Hello.
bump after Thanksgiving and another bump that continues after the December holidays, and then another one after New Year's.
UCSF infectious disease experts Dr. Peter Chin-Hong and Dr. George Rutherford explain while Bay Area COVID hospitalizations remain low, there's a looming threat for a triple-demic: COVID, flu, and RSV.
I think cases will definitely more than double for influenza because we're just at the beginning of our influenza season. For RSV, hopefully we won't increase too much more and we can start coming down, although it's still relatively early with RSV.
Plus concern over the country's most dominant and infectious variant yet, HV1. The CDC says unvaccinated travelers should be on alert.
It's very transmissible, so the things that you might have used as strategies before to escape infection may not work quite as well anymore.
At SFO, masks are optional, but recommended as the airport is forecasting 6.3 million passengers to travel through from Thanksgiving to New Year's. That's 87% of pre-pandemic traffic, a surge that's impacting parking.
And we're concerned that we might reach capacity over the Thanksgiving holiday. So think about some alternate ways of getting to the airport.
Meanwhile, at the Oakland airport, non-reserved parking is already limited.
We project over 360,000 passengers will pass through the airport between the last Friday and Monday, the 27th.
That's 85% of pre-pandemic traffic. The next busiest days for both airports will be this Wednesday and next Friday.
So I mean, if I was flying, and I'm not, I'm staying here, but if I was flying, I would definitely be wearing a mask. And for Christmas, I'm flying, which, you know, that we're still going to be in the thick of the COVID surge. I haven't gotten my flu shot yet. So I definitely think I'm going to do that, but I would think maybe I'll get it Friday well, I can't do it Friday or Saturday because I'll be out of town, but maybe Sunday or Monday. I got to take my daughter to go get tests done. So I'll probably be at the hospital and I'll just be like, give it to me there. So we'll figure it out, but I don't want to be sick.
I know, but it's better than being really, really sick.
Yeah, exactly.
The new COVID variant that is out now is called HV.1.
Yeah.
That is the new dominant one. And yeah, it's I guess, as Dr. Peter Chin-Hong was saying there, really transmissible. So
just wear a mask. I mean, Eric had said it in the chat. Like, you can reduce, not eliminate, but you can reduce your chance of getting it if you just wear a friggin' mask. So, and again, the thing I loved most about masks, especially during this time of year, is it keeps my face warm. So it's like if I'm cold, I could just keep that on. Vilma says, get both vaccines at the same time at Kaiser. You drive up, get the flu shot in one arm, COVID booster in the other. That's a good idea. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do that because nobody wants to get sick during this time of year. It's just not worth it. You know, it's just not worth it.
Symptoms of HV1 are kind of very similar to the others as well. Sore throat, congestion or stuffiness, runny nose, cough, fatigue, headache, muscle aches, fever, chills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's just worth it to get the shots. So do that. You don't want to get, I don't know why I'm not concerned about RSV as much as like the flu or COVID, but I'm not, but I know it's out there. So you just got to be, and then of course it really impacts the very, very young and the older. So keep that in mind. Okay. So in addition to COVID, what else do you have on your mind? Of course, is the economy. This was interesting. I saw this when I was on Twitter yesterday. And somebody had posted the part of the White House briefing regarding the economy, inflation, and how much it costs to put the Thanksgiving dinner on the table, right? And apparently, now I can't confirm this because I wasn't watching Fox News at the time, but this guy's like, while Fox News is airing the press briefing, they chose to exclude this portion on declining costs. So let's listen in. And this, of course, is Karine Jean-Pierre, press secretary, talking about. Now, as you listen to this, I want you to tell me, do you feel this? Do you see this when you're walking your, shopping cart through the grocery store?
Just in time for holiday travel, gas prices are down $1.70 from their peak. Airline tickets are down 13% over the last year, and car rentals are down about 10%. And as we start preparing our Thanksgiving meals, grocery inflation is at its lowest level in over 2 years, with prices for eggs, milks, bacon, and fresh veggies lower than last year. In fact, according to the American Farm Bureau, the cost of a Thanksgiving dinner fell this year. Prices are down for turkey, stuffing, peas, cranberries, pie crust, and whipping cream. We had a big discussion about whipping cream in the back. I don't know what whipping cream is. I know whipped cream, but not whipping cream. Anyway, because wages are rising, this Thanksgiving dinner is the 4th cheapest ever as a percentage of average earnings.
So there you go. It's the lowest, the 4th lowest when compared to the average earning of an American that's buying all of these things. But there's been a lot of polling, and it seems like despite the numbers, right? Despite obviously gas prices are down and all those product prices are down, Americans continue to stay bummed about the economy. So let's see. Inflation has reached its lowest point in 2.5 years, obviously since COVID. Unemployment rate has stayed below 4% for the longest stretch since the 60s. The U.S. economy has defied predictions of a coming recession, but still, Americans still are bummed about the economy. An Associated Press, NORC Center for Public Affairs research poll found 3/4 of respondents, 3/4 describe the economy as poor. 2/3 said their expenses have risen. Only 1/4 says their income has. Now, that I can understand, right? Well, my income has stayed flat, and any sort of inflation or increase in price, I'm really going to feel. But whose fault is that? Because I'll say this, strong holiday spending is still expected. All the polling shows that despite all the glumness and the belief that all these prices remain high, businesses are keeping their prices high, right? Not necessarily because they have to. So whose fault is it? Is it Biden's? I mean, he can't stop a business from charging what they want to charge for a product if you continue to pay for it, right? So it seems to be this contradiction in the economy where people are complaining that the prices of everything are so high, and yet Americans are spending. So I just have to default to politics, right? It just makes a political point to complain about the economy. And yet somebody will be complaining about the economy and rolling up in their new car. Someone will complain about the economy and just got back from Hawaii, right? Someone's complaining about the economy and yet they're still doing X, Y, and Z. Now, I'm not saying they shouldn't do X, Y, and Z, but whose economy are we talking about then?
Yeah. Kevin says there's always a lag time in perception, but I would argue that Karine Jean-Pierre can stand at the podium and tell me prices have gone down, and I'm still looking at high prices at the grocery store.
But that's not necessarily because if they could charge you more, Kim, they will, and that's not Biden. That is, Kimberly Clark with your toilet paper, right? They are making more of a profit and then hiding behind inflation. But you're paying it. See? So what we as consumers have to do is stop paying for it, right? But
people will say, well, it wasn't this way under the last president.
Well, yeah, you know what?
But
we
it is
walk
that
way
way.
Back
I mean,
40 years and blame
yeah.
everything, right? I mean, prices, they will charge for a product as much as you are willing to pay for the product. So if you want to buy the narrative that, it's Biden's fault that there's all this inflation, okay. But I would also look at the profits of the companies in which you buy a lot of things from. See how their bottom line is doing. I mean, it's really a scam, but it's not. We're part of it.
It just doesn't feel like a little bit. It's killing us. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but we would go to the store and buy the same 5 items, and it's now $75 more within a year's time.
Yes, exactly.
And so we used to spend, I don't know, one amount on groceries, and now it's astronomically higher. And we didn't budget for that. And so that's what people are seeing. Everyday people are seeing everyday things cost more, and that's why they don't buy that the economy is not better.
Right, but I just feel like the blame is misplaced. I think that's my point. And Debbie says it. Stores got used to charging more when prices were higher. Now they see what the market was able to bear, and now I'd agree they're not lowering the prices. Why would they? Why would they lower the price? they're just going to get you used to paying more. I was listening to somebody on the radio the other day, and they were praising the fact that they were paying 4 and change for gas. Now, of course, it's better than 6 or 7. But remember when we were bitching about 4? That's how they get you. They get you used to it. They make it so astronomically high that the outrage, the price where you started to get outraged, becomes a deal.
Exactly.
And it's not a deal.
Like it's
They're
not
scamming you.
It's not so bad when gas is $4.89, right?
That's how they get you. And so this whole thing of like Biden can't control the economy. No, he cannot control the free market. He cannot control that. So if, for instance, your can of corn and then the corn company or whatever product you want to choose realizes, oh, wow, we charged $1 a year ago, but we had to raise prices to $2. And look, they're still buying corn. In fact, they're buying just as much, if not more of it. What business in a capitalistic society would be like, but let's cut our profit just because it used to be that much? No, this is what it's going to be now. So you either stop buying it and make your point there, or get used to it, baby, because that's capitalism at work.
Sam says, I was paying for a case of bacon $45 a couple months ago. Now it's $95 a case. The eggs just went up to $47 a case. It was $27 last month.
Yeah. I mean, that's ridiculous. But again, who do you blame,
Sam.
Biden or the egg producer? Because where are their profits? I just feel like, and again, I don't know, like in bulk and that whole sort of thing, if the government has any control over that, but I don't think so. So again, look, not that we do, because we just buy and bitch, and I do it too, right? I buy and I bitch. But did I do research on the profits of the company? Did they need to charge me more? Or are they just selling us a load of BS so that we blame someone other than them?
Eric says gas with $3 a gallon under President Trump. The economy was booming under President Trump. Yes, but our democracy was at risk and our country almost fell apart.
Gas was under $3. You could buy a barrel of oil. Nobody was driving. We went through a pandemic. You cannot compare presidencies. I don't know. And of course, Trumpers always do this. Well, we're not going to count the part of the presidency under COVID under Trump. But then you can't do the recovery under Biden. Okay. So let's just understand that we're in this anomaly with both presidents and stop comparing them. And if you want to start at the beginning of Trump's presidency, that was after the Obama presidency. And there's always a lag time. So nobody can claim victory over anything, and nobody should get all of the faults. I mean, it's not Trump's fault that we went through a global pandemic, but you also can't look how cheap everything was. Come on. It doesn't make any sense. It never makes any sense.
Grady says Republicans love it that they get to charge more with their companies and then blame it on Biden and reap the benefits and get rich. Yeah, totally, Grady.
I just wish, I guess my whole point of this segment is just really to be fair. And we aren't as consumers. And I'm including myself in this. We just look at the price of something and say, look how terrible it is under whoever is in charge. Forgetting we live in a capitalistic society, right? Forgetting the fact that businesses, companies will charge as much as the market will bear. Look at housing prices. You want to take that out of it? What homeowner, most, I won't say all, most homeowners want as much as they can get for their house. Doesn't matter that maybe 3 years ago it was half that price, right? Why would they give up a profit? Now, put that on every business, every product that is out there. Why would they not want to get every cent they can out of you?
Daniel says Trump is ready to steal your democracy. Who cares what the cost of eggs would be at that point? It's true. 100%, Daniel. I hope that people get that.
I do too.
The problem is the people that are like me, frustrated at the high cost of things. Many of them also think that, Trump was duly elected and was wrongfully kicked out of office. So
yep, exactly. It's just it's just frustrating. But again, this is the reality of the world we live in. Eric says gas was under $3 because, as Nikki said, nobody was driving. Exactly. Yeah. I remember people like, do you want a barrel of oil? You can get it for nothing. Nobody was driving. Nobody was driving. And that also led to the backlash from OPEC, right? So it's just all of these things that went into their profits, and we had to face the repercussions for that. The economy was on fire. And who brought us out of the recession? The Great Recession? It was Obama. That happened under a Republican president, which was George W. Bush. Let's just really realize, who makes the mess and who cleans up the mess. Okay, let's just do that. Donald said, short of a disaster to drive up costs, the economy will keep improving and it will be obvious next year. And then if asshat Trump becomes president, he'll take credit for it. He'll take credit for it. And everyone will be like, yeah, it was. As if things happen in a moment's notice. And Biden doesn't get any of the credit because he's old. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, let's see. Let's read some more. The government can control gas prices. They want $7 gas and diesel. The government cannot control gas prices because they cannot control the price of oil. OPEC does that. Biden is not the head of OPEC. I just wish people would understand that. I don't. Now, could we produce more of our own oil and go into that whole conversation? Sure. Will it happen overnight to reduce gas prices today? No. Debbie says it's a conundrum as the average person wants a president to force prices to be lower. However, most businesses don't want the government or the president to interfere in their business. Exactly. You can't tell private businesses what they can and cannot charge. You can't. That's not how our society is run. Eric says it's down to this. Vote Biden in 2024, then a younger candidate in 2028, or vote Trump and never vote again. Well, that's frightening, Eric. Yeah.
But he's not wrong. Right?
It's ridiculous.
We know that he wasn't planning to leave office last time. Testimony indicates that he wasn't going to go. So yeah, Eric, you're right, dude.
It's absolutely scary. It's but again, we need to also in our day-to-day lives. I'm not being dramatic here. Stop with the economic bull crap, right? Just be honest. Be honest about it. And I'm talking be honest as a person, be honest as a company. Stop hiding behind this narrative of inflation for why you have to raise your prices or give us less product in a box, right? You're doing it out of greed. Say that part out loud. It's just plain and simple greed. Biden can only do so much. We, the consumer, need to be more discerning with what we believe and what we buy. Aussie says Christmas spending will be an indicator. If spending is up, things must not be so bad. Spending is going to be up. All indicators point to a very robust holiday spending season. Ask your friends. See what they buy. See what they buy. And then see how many of them bitch about the economy. And I'm not trying to be, antagonistic, but I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of people coming back from fabulous vacations, buying amazing things. And it's also where we live, right? People have money. And yet the same people will sit at the Thanksgiving dinner table. And yes, I'm looking at you and say, oh, the economy sucks. Give me a friggin' break over here. Stop. If your economy sucks, that's fine. Yes, and everybody has a hard time making PG&E payments and those sorts of rising costs that really piss us off. But the extras, the vacations, the luxury items that we're still buying, despite it's so hard to make ends meet, tells me a lot of times it's a load of BS. So there we go. The Thanksgiving meal OCB, according to the numbers, is down. Fourth lowest Thanksgiving meal, the clip I just played, fourth lowest when compared to the average income of Americans. So, and turkeys are definitely down. So if you eat turkey for Thanksgiving, you're getting it cheap this year. I mean, they're giving them away. Can I just ask my vegetarian friends? I wanted to ask this question and I didn't do the story last week, Kim. But there's this whole thing where the CHP or police officers, instead of giving you a ticket for some traffic infraction, it's not anything serious, maybe rolling through a stop sign or something like that. They go up to the window and they go, do you want the ticket or do you want the turkey? Any vegetarian friends say, I'll take the ticket? And is it hypocritical if you don't take the ticket if you're a vegetarian? I don't know. It's a funny thing to think about.
Take the turkey. Are you kidding? Give it away. Save yourself some money.
But but if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, geez, would you take the turkey still, even though you know that it goes against everything? Like, would you buy a turkey for somebody if you're a vegetarian or a vegan? I don't know.
Well, no, you wouldn't want your money to go to that. But if someone's going to give you one, you can just be the conduit by which it's passed.
I don't know. It's one of those like mental gymnastics things I think about all the time. Like, would it be going against your moral code or for whatever reason that you're a vegetarian or a vegan and not have it?
Funny.
Heather, I give the turkey to my meat eating friends.
Yeah.
Take the ticket to prevent someone else from having it. No. Grady says, I take the turkey and pass it along. Boom. Oh, that's a good point. Heather says, I don't care if other people eat meat and the turkey's already dead. Very, very true. Very true. You should ask Mark. RJ says you need to ask Mark. Would he take the turkey or would he take the ticket? Tell him I asked. I want to know. I want to know too.
Okay.
Would you take? I feel like Mark will say no. No. I mean, it is already dead. Heather makes a good point. It's already a dead turkey. And do you need another ticket? I don't know how bad of a driver Mark Thompson is.
I don't know either.
Maybe he can't get another point on his license. I'm just kidding. So yeah. All right. Grady says, I've been a vegan and a vegetarian and I would still take the turkey and pass it along. Oh my God. Spencer says, I'm sick of pizza. I'd rather have lasagna for Thanksgiving. I like some lasagna.
We had lasagna for Christmas Eve. Was it Christmas Eve or Christmas? It was Christmas Day.
Okay.
My mom decided she didn't want to do the big like ham or turkey and that we're going to change it up. And so she made lasagna and my uncle has never stopped making fun of it. You remember that Christmas we had lasagna? Oh my God. You'd think it was like, he was served turd soup or something. Yeah.
I do want to make a t-shirt that says like no new things on the, for Thanksgiving. I don't want no new recipes on Thanksgiving. No trying anything new. I was watching some videos on like Instagram or something and it's like a parody, but this like grandma looks at the rest of the table and she's like, since you wanted to mess with the recipe for the macaroni and cheese, you clean up the dinner. She's like, I'm done. Like you do not mess with the macaroni and cheese. And you hear somebody in the background saying, I wanted to try something new. She's like, not on Thanksgiving. You don't try anything new on Thanksgiving. I agree. People expect what they expect on Thanksgiving. You want to try something new? Try it on a Wednesday. Don't try it on Thanksgiving. Don't do that. And Heather says, I'm actually a pescatarian, not full veg, so I cook lobsters for Thanksgiving. Okay, so Heather, since you make lobster, I'm making my husband a lobster roll for his birthday dinner tonight. Give me some tips, tricks, or whatever, since you're a lobster chef. I've never made lobster. My husband has made me lobster. I've never done it on my own. So send me some tips and tricks. Okay. So that's that. Let's move and change gears and talk a bit about OpenAI. So let's get into the dramatics of this. A lot has happened over the past several days. So it was Friday that Sam Altman was fired by the board at OpenAI. AI starts bleeding money from investors, obviously. Greg Brockman also was fired. He was with OpenAI. Now, there were 4 people, according to Forbes, the CEO of Quora and the co-founder of OpenAI, Ilya Sutskever, who were on the board that led to the firing. Now, the information reported that OpenAI board approached a competitor of OpenAI for a potential murder, but was declined. Let's see. So they said, over the weekend, OpenAI's board approached the CEO of a startup rival about a potential merger. The approach was part of an effort to persuade the company to replace Altman as CEO. And so this just started the whole ball rolling. Altman and Brockman get fired. Now employees have responded with this letter, this open letter saying that they are going to leave if they do not reinstate Sam Altman, Greg Brockman back. And not only that, but that the board is let go. Those 4 people, including, OpenAI CEO, are let go. Here's a little bit more about how this could, and the future of AI's leadership, can impact San Francisco. Oh, let's turn it up, shall we? Here we go.
has the artificial intelligence industry reeling. The company's board fired CEO Sam Altman on Friday. The reason, not entirely clear.
The equivalent of if Apple had fired Steve Jobs right after the iPhone came out.
It's something hundreds of OpenAI employees are not happy about. Now OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, has the artificial intelligence industry reeling. The company's board fired CEO Sam Altman on Friday. The reason, not entirely clear.
The equivalent of if Apple had fired Steve Jobs right after the iPhone came out.
It's something hundreds of OpenAI employees are not happy about. Now Monday, an announcement that Altman, along with OpenAI's former president, will join investor Microsoft. In an open letter, employees called for the company's board to resign. They threatened to take up Microsoft on job offers and join Altman there. Microsoft is based in Washington. OpenAI is based in San Francisco.
Employees who are in California may well go to Microsoft, right? So, and they can't take the trade secrets from OpenAI, right? But they can't take the know-how.
Experts say any negative impacts OpenAI may face would not just impact the company itself, but the startups built on its technology.
And a lot of those startups, of course, are in San Francisco. There's been talk about how AI in general and the investment that was going into it, the billions and billions of dollars of investment, was really priming San Francisco to possibly have an upswing.
With many AI companies requiring employees to work in at least a hybrid format, the AI industry has grown increasingly important to San Francisco's real estate market.
Those people are coming in much more often than maybe other tech segments in the market. That is a big plus.
Robert Sammons, a senior research director with Cushman Wakefield, says that despite the headlines, he remains optimistic for the city's outlook.
Hopefully this is just a hiccup. I think because it is such a focus in San Francisco with AI workers, AI employees, that will continue to be the case, and certainly will still be the center of that revolution.
For now.
So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, Sam Altman can stay, Greg Brockman can stay. We'll see what happens with the board and what kind of, future AI will have in a place like San Francisco. Now, I know I talk about AI. We have our concerns about AI, replacing jobs and things like that, but you can't deny that it is a huge business, especially could be a new revolution for San Francisco. Now, I know we were talking about this, but we have...
I sent him the link. I thought we gotta get the question answered immediately.
Okay, let us welcome the one, the only, Mark Thompson to the show. Hello, my friends.
Cheers. What's up, kid? Nice
Okay, so we have a question. I know that you're a vegetarian. Are you a vegan or a vegetarian?
I'm vegan. Vegetarian is for pussies.
Okay, so here's the situation. You are driving.
This is what you get from me before my show starts.
I love it.
Unvarnished.
All right, go ahead. Okay, so you're driving. You do a traffic infraction. Let's say you do the California roll through the stop sign.
Right.
Cop pulls you over, and he looks at you and he goes, "Ticket or a turkey? Which do you take?"
Oh, I don't. Is that a thing they're doing?
Yes. So they're pulling people over right now, and they're saying, "Would you rather have the ticket or would you rather have the turkey?" Now, as a vegan, would you take the turkey?
Well,
to make a point,
I mean, I'm compelled, as I always am, to honestly respond to questions of any sort.
Okay.
So I will tell you that, I mean, you'll do anything to avoid a ticket. Ticket causes your insurance to go up. Ticket's a big deal. It's a moving violation. So I will do. I mean, whatever. Yeah. If you.
Oh, so the turkey be damned. The dead car.
It's already dead. I'll drop it off at a, I'll drop it. I really will. I'll probably drop it off at a shelter or something, and that'll be the end of it. Yeah. I would not. It's there are times to stand on your
moral
principles.
Code. Yes.
And then there are times to, where you're not really standing on your principles. You're not making a point. You know what I mean? You're just, you understand? I mean, you're not making a point to the cop. Like, why are you, so in other words, you don't die on that hill in that spot. No. That's great. I thought it was going to be like, what they, on KFI radio, when I first, they give me a hard time about being vegan. And I don't know, vegans always get a hard time, but anyway.
Because you don't eat cheese, Mark. The cheese is life. That's how us meat eaters think.
I was the biggest cheese hound.
Oh, I love cheese.
Imagine. I had a house account at a cheese store. That's how much I would go in. I'd just get pounds of cheese, and they'd bill me at the end of the month. That's
Put it
how
on my tab.
much I love cheese.
I love cheese.
All right. So now there are some cool vegan cheese, nut-based cheeses, and they're doing some things with, as you're aware, the same way they're doing things with milk.
Right.
But I get it. I mean, I totally get it. But they're really making some great changes in that area. For me, the life of a dairy cow is probably one of the worst lives you can imagine. And if you're a mother, you should Google it and see what happens and go, I don't know if I'm good with that. But I get it. We're indoctrinated in a certain way of eating, and that's what we're used to. And look, most of the audience watching you, and I think most of the audience watching me, I get it. Nobody's vegan, so I don't hit them over the head with it. When asked, I will respond, but otherwise, I leave it alone. So,
and then take the turkey, not the ticket.
Yeah. I take the turkey.
I take the turkey. Yeah.
I mean, what if
Nikki,
you were driving around, though? What if you were driving around and saw your vegan friends, and they look in your car? There's a freaking turkey sitting right there.
You're being judged.
What do you say then, my friend?
Oh, that would be a tough one. I would have to tell the story. You're right. I would have to tell the whole story. I'd have them call you.
There you go. I'd be your alibi. I'd be like, don't worry. He's still vegan.
He's still standing firm. Nikki, come on my show sometime.
I would love it. And let me know whenever. I will be there.
All right.
I love the whole community.
Love to do it.
All right.
Yeah, we'll do it before the new year. We have a funky schedule. It's Kim is going to be alone on my show for much of December.
Oh, wow. It's going to be the Kim McAllister / Mark.
Yeah. She's already kind of sliding in. I can see she's already approaching.
I'm already all right.
She sent an email blast last night, and I said, "Oh, this is cool. What did I say? Are you going to send this?" And she said, "I've already sent it." I go, "Oh, that's interesting." You decided just to send it without even asking.
Yes.
Great.
It was an overstep, definitely.
But I love Kim, so and I also love to give her a hard time. So, but you'll get a lot of her in December on my show. But come visit soon. I'd love to see you and hang out.
All right, be Mark Thompson right after this show. See you
Bye,
later.
love.
Bye. Yeah, so that's funny. Wouldn't it be funny though if he was driving around with that turkey? And everyone's like, "You said you're a vegetarian. Give me the vegetarian. Give me your V card." Now we mean vegetarian, not virgin.
No, who wouldn't get out of the ticket? Honestly, I mean, come on.
I know, but it was just one of those like moral questions that I always like have rolling around in my head. It's like, how far do you go?
How far do you push this thing?
How far do you push it? All right, let's do some headlines. I'm going to reboot because I feel like I'm glitchy. I'm going to reboot my computers, but I will be right back. Let's do some headlines. And then when we come back, what time? Okay, so we've done OpenAI. You guys can still comment on that. I do want to also comment on the Elon Musk suing Media Matters, which is a bit freaking rich for Elon Musk to sue Media Matters for saying some crap on X when this guy has no filter and doesn't care about any of the repercussions of what he tweets out. But that's that. And then the TV show that I am so excited to watch, and it starts tomorrow. I'm all about it. I was going to try to be on it, but I didn't even take the
You were
test.
going to try to be on a TV show?
I was.
It must be a game show.
I wanted to be on this show. So yeah. All right. Click the thumbs up button, you guys. Please do that. The super chat is also live. A big thank you to Harry for starting us off with that $5 donation and the news alert that the AARP is sponsoring the Stones. So yeah, just look for that. Look for the $. We really appreciate all the help that everybody gives. And here's Kim with some headlines.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
On the Nikki Medoro Show, I'm Kim McAllister, and this report is sponsored by you. The NikkiMedoroShow.com is the website. All right, let's get into it because here's what we know about what's going on with the Israel-Hamas war. The full Israeli cabinet is expected to meet very soon to consider a tentative hostage exchange deal. Multiple reports say this would include a 4-day ceasefire and exchanging Palestinian women and children currently detained in Israel for hostages that are currently being held by Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he hopes there will be good news soon related to hostage negotiations. The TSA is reminding airline passengers how to travel with food as millions take to the air for the Thanksgiving holiday. Since food items often need additional screening, officials say it would be best to put it in its own bag or keep it in an easily accessible location. Officials stress that only solid food items can get through a security checkpoint. Americans are filling up for less at the pumps as they hit the road for Thanksgiving. That according to AAA. The national average for a gallon of regular gas is about $3.31. It's 25 cents less than a month ago, 36 cents less than a year ago. And speaking of that, I want to tell you that today is the day millions of Californians are saving on filling up their tanks. Circle K is offering a 40% discount on gas to all drivers in the state, just in time for holiday travel. The company says it is their way of giving thanks to valued customers. All you have to do is show up at any location taking part in the Fuel Day pop-up between 4 and 7 p.m. Car washes are also half off all day. The deal is good in Oregon and Washington as well. Again, 40% off of gas at Circle K. If that's where you go, if you have a Circle K in your area, maybe it would behoove you to check the price. I'm not sure, but I think there's one in Petaluma, so I'll be looking at that. Retailers expecting a little less jingle at the cash registers this holiday season. Best Buy, Lowe's, and Kohl's all reported declines in sales in their most recent quarter, and they expect holiday sales to drop compared to last year. Best Buy CEO Corey Berry noted the company is prepared for a customer who is very deal-focused. The Maui Classic continues today, but in Honolulu. The semifinal matchups are set in the winner's bracket as looks like undefeated Tennessee will face off against undefeated Purdue. On the other side of the bracket, undefeated Kansas will take on an unbeaten Marquette. So that's happening in the Maui Classic. I do want to tell you that some California news is underway. We are at the center of a nationwide listeria outbreak. Did you hear about this?
No.
Central Valley Farm is recalling peaches, nectarines, and plums. The CDC says 3 people in 3 states got sick and 1 died.
Oh,
right.
no.
Also, there was a case of, listeria is a big scare when you're pregnant.
Yes.
And so there have been some premature births related to this particular outbreak as well. Cases are reported in Florida, Colorado, Illinois, Kansas, Michigan, and Ohio. The fruit sold in 2-pound bags between May and November 15th, last year and this year.
Wow.
Investigators are working to see if any other fruit is contaminated. But again, this fruit sold from a California company.
Oh.
Governor Gavin Newsom gearing up for his debate with Florida governor and the Florida governor, and abortion set to be a hot topic. He took more jabs at Ron DeSantis on Sunday, claiming he will never be president, but people in the state need to know what the damage that he has caused has been in pursuit of those goals. His social media post went on to say women receiving an abortion after 6 weeks will be punished by up to 5 years in prison. DeSantis signed that ban in April, but it's not quite in effect yet. The 2 men set to square off in Georgia next Thursday.
That's when it is, next Thursday. I will actually watch that. I'm actually, I don't know.
It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be
really
good, right? Now again, I don't really feel like there's gonna be any shocking moments, but I just want to see not only how Newsom and DeSantis do against each other.
Right.
I will be watching and laughing probably at how awkward DeSantis always seems to be. He's not one that seems comfortable with the limelight, and which is surprising because he wants to be president, but he doesn't. There's the whole smiling thing, and is he really a human? That's that whole joke. But also how he truly responds. I mean, they're fundamentally polar opposites politically on issues like this. Now, this is what I'm going to be watching for, honestly. Honestly, I'm looking for sincerity. I feel like Newsom is sincere in his beliefs around things regarding reproductive rights and what have you. I feel, and maybe I'll learn differently, not that it matters because I disagree with him, but I don't even feel like DeSantis even truly believes the BS that's coming out of his mouth. I feel he's just appealing to Trumpers, right? I mean, I'm looking for substance behind what he says. Okay, so if you're going to, let's just say, take away reproductive rights for women, what are you doing on the other end? Are you, supporting supportive services, that safety net that women need, wages? What are you talking about as you take away this right from women? Yes, he does have a list. He has this whole mouth thing. It's so odd, but that's that's bullying. Like, keep your tongue in your mouth, you weirdo. But that's mean. Whatever. But he's trying to take away my friggin' rights, so screw him. But yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to watch that. I will definitely watch that. Must see TV.
Lastly, California researchers are expanding their mission to find aliens. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence.
DeSantis. I love how you have these two things together. It's DeSantis. He's an alien.
Back. There's a reason for this. Yes. The Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence Institute in Mountain View, SETI Mountain View, was just given to get this, $200 million grant to see if there's any form of life beyond Earth. The nonprofit has been combing the stars for years for evidence of a more technically advanced civilization. This philanthropic gift will now allow scientists to consolidate projects and widen their search. $200 million to really bear down and figure out, is there life out there?
There is. Now, this is what I want. Define what you mean by life. Are you talking about other humans, mammals, air-breathing species? Because I think that's a really narrow focus. But okay,
and we're not looking for I guess we are. We're looking for anything, but I mean, is it realistic that we're going to find human beings on another planet?
Well,
no.
exactly. So what do we mean by life? And what do we mean by, what is the test that we're using? Does it have to look like ET? Is that what we're looking for? Because I can't imagine that anybody worth their salt, and maybe you guys disagree with me, but I just, you can't possibly think we're it in this vast outer space. We're it, and we're going to spend $200 million to confirm what we already know, which is obviously there's something else out there. Now, whether or not they want to hang out with us, I mean, we might be the Florida friggin' the universe, and
here's
we're not
the
even
question.
going there.
Do you really want to let someone else know we're here? Because I'm just saying,
who
knows what they're going to...
bad.
It's going to be bad. It could be awful. It could be like, oh, look, they have a planet sustaining the same kind of life we have. We're going to take it.
Go to war. Well, you don't think that we would do the same crap? Like, if we found resources that we can monetize, we would be parking our flag right there. I mean, we are what we're afraid of. Let's, you know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
Let's stop. Yes. That's why we think that way. Because we know what we would do. We're like, oh, maybe that's not a good idea. Because we know what we would do if the shoe
maybe we got enough problems on Earth. I mean,
maybe we didn't take care of this planet enough. We shouldn't spread. But we are a virus, right? I mean, that's what a lot of people say. We use up all the resources.
Look at what's going on in the Middle East. We can't even take care of each other and be kind to each other. Imagine how we're going to treat a different species.
Yeah, Beth asked, so we find the life, then what? Then what do we do? We start a war, because that's what we do, right? I mean, we divide, we conquer, we do those things. I mean, I hope not. I'm being kind of facetious, but yeah, that'd be interesting.
That was going to be the last one, but here's a well-kept secret.
Oh, okay.
A Google executive says Spotify does not pay fees in the Play Store because of a secret deal.
Ooh.
Don Harrison, Google's partnership division chief, made the statement while testifying in the Epic versus Google trial. According to Harrison, Spotify pays a 4% processing fee, while Google typically takes a 15% cut of subscriptions. So how they managed that, I don't know, but that's a pretty good deal. I'll take that deal.
I mean, the whole music royalties, what we charge, what we own, right? What does it mean in 2023 to own music that you don't have a physical hard copy of, right? I pay money every month and I get to download things apparently or listen to things, but I don't own it. And then I have to rebuy. It's so weird. It's this ownership of art is kind of odd. Everything from, music streaming to NFTs. It's a strange time we live in. I'm telling you.
I keep lying to you and saying this is going to be the last
keep
one.
going. We love it.
But I want to do this one because you were just talking about it. So maybe it will lead you back into this story. This is a story about OpenAI. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella says OpenAI needs a change in governance regardless of where Sam Altman ends up. So late Friday, as you just reported, OpenAI's board ousted Altman. Microsoft, which actually owns 49% of a 49% stake in OpenAI, snapped him up quickly. Nadella says he believes it's still possible that Altman will return to OpenAI. It was smart of Microsoft to say, no, you're not going anywhere, right?
Well, I mean, they haven't signed. So apparently Microsoft was being asked throughout the weekend. So he's on board. He has signed documents that he's an employee, like he is CEO, all that. And they're just like hemming and hawing about it. Yeah. So there could be a merger between Microsoft and OpenAI. So that's that whole thing, which I think that Microsoft would be really excited to do. I think it's just the mind of Sam Altman, Greg Brockman, and others that they want. And if you're going to let that go, OpenAI, I don't know if they anticipated the backlash. I don't know what. But I will also say this. I read an article that was saying whatever decision is made, we need to ensure that the people leading these companies, whether it's Microsoft, whether it's OpenAI, are careful. Like, you need to build safeguards. There needs to be rules. There needs to be all of these things because it is disruptive. It is disruptive. Now, it could be a disruptive in a good way, a bad way, or somewhere in between. But we need the right people at the top. And right now, that man seems to be Sam Altman. So we'll see.
This report is sponsored by you. Find us at thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com. Patreon and PayPal subscribers are the backbone of the show. We rely on you, and that's where you'll find those links. I do want to thank Ren as we head back into the show.
Thank you, Ren!
Ren says, so thankful for you both. That is the nicest thing, Ren. Nikki and Kim, have a wonderful time with your families. You too, Ren.
Absolutely.
And all of you. Have a great Thanksgiving with your families as well. Thank you. All right.
And I do want to say that there is a show tomorrow, the live show tomorrow. And then I have recorded some interviews. There's one on Thursday and there's one on Friday, and they're both really fascinating. I'll get into those tomorrow. Thursday's show is a little lighter because I know that a lot of people will be busy and it'll be holiday focused. Fridays is going to be a bit deep. So you won't want to miss that either. And it has to do with politics. It has to do with the mind. So I definitely have some new content for you throughout the week, but we will not be having a live show. And then we'll be back, of course, on Monday. Okay. Elon Musk. I know people have strong feelings about him. I feel, in my opinion, that Elon Musk is brilliant in many aspects, right? He has, although many have accurately made the argument that he kind of co-opts other people's ideas to make himself look brilliant, which, whatever. Okay. So he's a brilliant businessman in that aspect. SpaceX, that whole idea of reusing, the rockets or whatever, brilliant. Great. Reduces the cost and send us out into outer space to find all the alien life forms, right? Tesla, another disruptive company. Which arguably is what's led so many other car companies to try to create cleaner cars, electric cars. The guy's an asshat, and I don't think there's much debate on that. The guy, he's an ass. He rules for you, but not for him, a type of mentality. His latest, target is Media Matters. X is suing Media Matters for America for defamation. They filed it yesterday. Reuters was the first to report on the court filing. Says that X alleges that Media Matters for America defamed the platform after it published a report that said ads for major brands were appearing next to posts touting Nazism. Media Matters president hit back, saying Elon Musk has spent the last few days making meritless legal threats, elevating bizarre conspiracy theories. He started talking about Pizzagate, which is crazy, and lobbing vicious personal attacks against his quote-unquote enemies online. Even if he does not follow through with his threat to sue, the volatility of actions reinforce why major brands are rightly skittish of partnering with X. Musk was like, I'm going to be filing a thermonuclear lawsuit against Media Matters and all those who colluded in this fraudulent attack on our company. As if he has not committed the same sins that he's accusing Media Matters of committing. Elon Musk tweets just kind of like similar to former President Trump. He just says whatever the hell he wants to say. Then he yells and screams about free speech. I'm going to play you this little report, and this just reinforces my point. Elon Musk first off, Elon Musk did agree with some anti-Semitic tweet about how Jewish people are discriminating against white people, something of that sort. Okay, that's kind of also what started this whole ball rolling with Media Matters. But that's okay for Elon Musk to do. Never mind his platform. Never mind the fact that when he tweets something or retweets or agrees with something on X, that has repercussions for those that are the focus of those tweets, including this report, this 22-year-old guy. He's suing. He's also suing X, kind of for the same crap that Musk is saying Media Matters did to him. But it's way different when it's, X versus a company, Media Matters, versus Elon Musk talking about a 22-year-old kid. Here's the report.
I was just, oh my God, is this for real?
22-year-old Ben Brody was at home in Riverside, California when
I started getting these text messages from my friends. You're accused of being a neo-Nazi Fed. Look at all this stuff that's being said about you. And I was like, okay, this is just some prank.
But it wasn't a prank. 1,000 miles away near Portland, Oregon, two far-right extremist groups had gotten into a fight while protesting against a pride event. Ben Brody was not there, but online trolls tried to guess who was involved using a video of the crowd. They found random photos of Ben online.
They said, oh, this person looks like him. He has to be this person. There's no way it's not him. It was just like an assumption that just went wrong.
A person in the video resembled Ben, but even though it definitely was not him, the trolls thought they had found their man. They pulled information from Ben's fraternity page, which said after graduation he plans to work for the government, and turned that into a lie that he was a federal agent who was infiltrating the extremist group to make them look bad, a so-called false flag operation.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Ben Brody, and I wanted to address the false accusations against me.
Desperate to clear his name, Ben made this video. He even posted timestamp surveillance footage showing him at a store in California at the same time the brawl was happening near Portland. But the false claims about Ben's involvement continued to spread. Even the owner of Twitter, now X, Elon Musk, weighed in, posting to his millions of followers, looks like one is a college student who wants to join the government, and another is maybe an Antifa member, but nonetheless a probable false flag situation.
I knew that this was snowballing, but once Elon Musk commented, I was like, boom, that's the final nail in the coffin.
And how much did it intensify then after Musk's involvement?
It massively intensifies it. This guy DM'd me on Instagram. He's like, now even Elon Musk thinks that you're a Fed. And what was really scary too, is that these people were threatening to tell my school. And I was scared that I wasn't going to graduate.
Ben's friends and others tweeted at Musk telling him the person in the video was not Ben.
In this case, at its core, is about Elon Musk being reckless and making an accusation about this young man.
Mark Bankston is Ben Brody's attorney and is suing Musk for defamation.
Ben published a video online to try to clear his name. It didn't work. So there's this incredible feeling of helplessness that there's millions out there, millions who think that Ben was involved in neo-Nazi activities.
Yep.
And that is how I know you lied to me.
Bankston is best known as the lawyer who successfully sued Alex Jones for the lies he spread about the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. Now he wants to hold Elon Musk accountable. Writing in the lawsuit, Musk made these ridiculously false and damaging accusations against Ben Brody, and it has led to severe personal harassment and permanent damage to his reputation.
So there you go. Now, Chris writes in the comments, even billionaires have the right to free speech. Okay, so let's go down that road. Then why is Musk suing Media Matters? I mean, are there no repercussions on Twitter? X, whatever, right? I mean, Elon Musk makes this false accusation, ties this poor guy, this 22-year-old guy, to a neo-Nazi thing. Be damned the repercussions for the guy who's not Elon Musk, who doesn't have billions of dollars. to defend himself, despite the fact that the guy has proven that it wasn't him with those timestamps. Elon Musk has to comment. He has no self-control. That's honestly what I think Elon Musk's problem is. He's not able to filter himself. He's not able to think, do I really need to weigh in on this? No, he throws up just what Chris says. Freedom of speech, freedom of speech, freedom of speech until it impacts you, Musk. To your panties getting a bunch about something that somebody says about you or your platform, till it impacts your bottom line. It impacts this 22-year-old guy's life, possibly his schooling, his education, his job prospects. How do you think this guy's going to feel when people Google his name and now neo-Nazi pops up?
No.
Is Elon Musk going to give this guy a job? Is he going to pay his bills? Is he going to do that?
I agree with Lensman. Slander is not free speech.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So Musk can just shove it up his ass. This whole lawsuit against Media Matters is a bit rich, coming from somebody that does this time and time again and doesn't want any sort of consequence for it.
It's like his mental state is deteriorating.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, he came out in support of that. Remember the Pizzagate?
Yes, he's going down that conspiracy.
It's been proven completely false. There is no basement there even. Mm-hmm. And he's now aboard that. So like his brain has atrophy. I don't know what's happening, but there's some cells dying. And it's sad because here's a guy who it looks like, is super smart, right? But he just is not like capable of rational thought.
Well, and there's nobody reining him in. I think that this comes with money and power and celebrity. Not everybody that has those things knows what to do with them, can be responsible for them. Like, look at Trump, right? The guy did not need to run for president, but his ego needed him to, right? I still think that Trump never thought that people were going to elect him. I think he just wanted to do it for his brand. And then the ball got rolling and people kept fluffing him up and whispering in his ear. And he's like, hell yeah, I'll be president. I'll be the best president. No, he's insane. And that's the same with Musk. Is not enough people that he will listen to. Maybe he doesn't listen to anybody. Can get through to him like, no, man, you got to stop doing this. John says Elon is autistic and really doesn't understand things like normal people do. He has emotional and empathy deficits. Okay, well then maybe he shouldn't be, running X. Maybe he should be held accountable. Just because he's autistic doesn't mean that he shouldn't face repercussions, right? You can't just, he's autistic, so no, screw that. There's autistic people that would never do that. No. So no, he does not need to have the platform that he has. And if he uses his platform in a way that hurts other people, then there should be repercussions.
Eric Wright, he says, I'm just glad Musk was born in South Africa and can't run for president. Exactly.
Yep. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Trump becomes president and he tries to change that.
OCB is thinking, he wrote earlier, OCB, that Media Matters had it coming. And he says, I think we have the wrong narrative about this Media Matters case. I'd like to know more about why you think that, but I disagree completely.
I guess my point isn't so much about the Media Matters case. It's the fact of Elon Musk being upset about. So basically what Elon Musk is claiming is that Media Matters was manipulating search results to show that these major corporations, tweets or whatever, were being placed next to neo-Nazi things. Now, I would argue that Elon Musk liking and commenting and liking an anti-Semitic tweet in and of itself proves Media Matters case. In my opinion, when you have the head of a major social media network, right, liking and commenting on something that is clearly anti-Semitic, that is a problem. I would focus more on that as proof. Now, again, this can go through the lawsuit. Musk can sue Media Matters for America. That's fine. My problem with the whole thing is that there seems to be what he doesn't like Media Matters doing, he's doing to other people. And that is just as dangerous. And it's even more dangerous because he's doing it to individuals. Karen says the real Musk has been revealed. I think it's been revealed for quite a long time. And you can like Media Matters. You can dislike Media Matters. They're described as left-leaning, biased, whatever. That's not my point. Again, if Musk can prove his case that Media Matters did some sort of manipulation and did wrong, fine. But I'm just tired of Musk acting like he tweets and reacts to things in an appropriate way, and Media Matters did something wrong. He does it, and he does it worse. Pippin says someone should apply for a conservatorship of Elon Musk so someone can be his filter like a 5-year-old on the playground. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He doesn't have a filter. He doesn't care about the repercussions of his tweets.
It's totally true. John says when you're poor and crazy, you're just crazy. And when you're rich and crazy,
Yes.
you're eccentric.
You're
Yes,
eccentric.
totally
Yes,
true.
exactly. That is so very true. And again, like, do I feel like Musk should get as much attention as he does? No, I think he's a wackadoo. I wish he would just focus on something else, but he needs the attention on himself. He loves it. And it's part of his personality. But again, when it leads to things like what happened to that 22-year-old, he doesn't have any sort of, he doesn't face consequences. He doesn't feel bad about it. Lori says if he's that mentally challenged, he needs a conservator to monitor him. I completely agree. Eric says, seriously, if Musk was smart, he'd have a PR person to filter his statements. I don't think he wants to.
No, he canceled the entire public relations department at Tesla, right?
I think when you wrote, like, you got a message back with a poop emoji or something, like, remember that?
They don't have a press department anymore. You ask them a question and they're like, yeah. You get a horrible email in response, like, stand by, wait for the rest of your life for us to answer this one. No.
Exactly. Sandy says Musk and Trump will say anything for attention. Exactly. They don't want a filter. They want people to know that they tweeted that came from them.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with both of these. But Elon Musk always likes to make these gigantic declarations. Thermonuclear lawsuit against Media Matters. Okay, well, let's see how it goes and what the judge rules, and that's our court system and what have you. But shut up otherwise.
Doug says I'm not a fan of Musk, but I don't have a problem with him. And I guess. Okay, that's
well, you haven't been a target of him either, so
right. And I would say anytime I see someone making anti-Semitic comments or being racist, I immediately have a problem. Like my hairs on the back of my neck go up.
Yeah.
Especially someone with this much power. I mean, this guy is meeting with the heads of foreign countries because of his SpaceX program. This is someone, the United States is doing business with to send these rockets into space and satellites into space. He's got a lot of power because of the companies that he's formed. And so when he it's coming out as making racist mainstream kind of thing.
Yeah.
I got a problem with that.
Now, Chris says if Target won't hire you to collect cards in the parking lot because Musk called you a Nazi, sue Target for discrimination, not Musk for defamation. That analogy is ridiculous, Chris, because obviously the guy's going to college. They were going to contact his school, and Google searches. It's not Target collecting cards. And even if it was, if you're up for a job, I don't care if it's at Target or if it's at Microsoft, and they Google you and you didn't get the job for that, they get to decide that. It's not discrimination. It's making a decision based on the information that is out there. And now for this guy, Nazi, sympathizer, whatever the hell, is going to be part of his description. And a company that's looking at everyone and all things created equal, are you going to choose the guy with bad press? And can you prove it if you're on the other side of the sorry we went with somebody else? Prove it, right? Prove it. Lori says the problem is Musk controls a platform that amplifies whatever he wants to millions of people. Exactly. And it's dangerous, and he doesn't care. Vilma, the U.S. is married to Musk because of the space program. They can be. I still think that SpaceX can run without Musk. I don't think. You know what I mean? I don't think that if we don't have Musk, SpaceX doesn't have enough smart people to make it going. No, stop. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I get so tired of him. I really, really do. Okay, we have a little bit of time left, so I want to lighten things up. And by lighten, I mean talk about a show that dealt with murder. But I so wanted to try out for this show. Do you remember, Kim, and I doubt that you watched the show. Do you remember Squid Game?
I didn't watch it, but I remember it because
Okay.
you and I talked about it at that time.
Yes,
And
and
you were
it's so
explaining to
good.
me what it was because I was like, what is this thing? And
Yes.
yeah, but it wasn't based in reality. It was a show, right?
Yeah, it was a Korean drama.
Right, right.
Where basically the show, the series, it was fake, where a bunch of people that were basically poor could win a buttload of money by completing these challenges like red light, green light, and all these kid games, but where like losers died.
Yeah.
And if you survived, then you won all of this money, life-changing money. Well, Netflix decided to create it into a real game show. And I was going to try out for it. I remember Sherry, our old producer at KGO, she's like, Nikki, try out. They're taking, and I never did it. I really wanted to. And now that I see 456. Now that was the Squid Game one. So I'm assuming 456 might be part of this show as well. Yeah, and so it's 456 players. Now they're not like poor. They didn't go and get a bunch of homeless people or really hard on their luck people. They're just people that applied to the show. They're going to be on Squid Game, the challenge. Now it starts tomorrow on Netflix, but the trailers are out now. Should I play it? Because I'm going to get dinged for it.
The people really aren't going to die this time, right?
But what's interesting, so and this isn't a spoiler because it's part of the trailer, so whatever. So one of the main, like the iconic scenes from the show, the original show, was they had this huge doll, okay, and her eyes moved, and I think there was guns. I think it was guns. Maybe it was lasers. I forget what it was, but she could kill the people, and they played red light, green light, okay, and so you know red light, green light, you run, and then when it's red light, you have to stop, and if you moved an inch. Boom, you're dead. Okay. That was the show.
Would they shoot you or what?
So in the game show, Kim, they shoot you with paintballs.
Oh, God.
So you still get shot, I think.
I'm glad you didn't try out for that. Putting my
I played paintball once in my life and I will never do it again. It is so painful. Like, no, you're not shooting me. I don't care if it's not real bullets. It hurts.
No, thank you. You can keep your money.
I am so excited to watch this. So it's $4.56 million. There's a quote. One of the players says, he's like, people do a whole lot worse for a whole lot less. I am extremely, let me see if I could bring it up because it looks so good. And I'll just pull it. You can only watch it during the live show. It looks so good because I'm telling you, I would love to play this game. I think a game show like this where you can, backstab. People were crying, doing all sorts of things. So here, let's watch. The first trailer was really good. Hold on.
For money, like you go through this emotional gauntlet and physical abuse for money.
$4.56 million. That's a lot of money, Kim. So here's the trailer. Reminds me, I feel like of Survivor, where you kind of have to outwit people and make relationships. And Ricky's a no. Yeah, I'm really excited about watching this. I mean, nobody's gonna die, so that's cool, right? I mean, it's not like anyone's gonna die. Yes, I get. How many of you watched Squid Game? Let me ask you this, because this is a fair assessment. Who watched? Thank you, Lulu. I love that. Who watched Squid Games? And does or does not want to watch this? Yeah, Vilma, I might watch. I liked Squid Games. It was very brutal,
What's
though.
so interesting about the responses here is it's either absolutely not or I can't wait, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's like one or the other, totally.
Well, that's kind of how Squid Game, the original show was. It's Korean, Now, Sandy, you said it looks dumb. Did you watch the original Squid Games? Because I feel like if you watch the original Squid Games, you're totally in. Like you're so in for this because you want to see how you do it. Yep.
Right?
I would do it. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. My whole family's seen it. It's brutal, but a great journey. And I think they're going to make another season of the series, not the game show. The show is pretty violent. Now, sadly, my daughter has watched this show because I had no idea what it was. She's, what are you watching? Squid Games. I'm thinking it's a game show. Okay, Squid Games.
You have no idea what's going to happen.
I have no idea. I'm just like, and then all of a sudden I turn on, I'm like, you're watching what? What is this? What are you watching? I was shocked. She's like, oh yeah. I'm like, Marley, my daughter, Marley. Yeah, it's quite violent. It was good psychological kind of game playing, and I liked it. All right. Karen's a no. Karen's definitely a no. Rod's a no. A lot of people are no's, apparently. Sandy says, I watched one episode of the original Squid Games, didn't care for it, had no interest in watching anymore. I loved it. I was hooked from the first episode. Heather liked the original series. Not sure I'd really be into the game show, though. Seems kind of silly. All right, how about this? I'll give you that. Because I'm wondering, because there's only so much you could do if you don't, like the whole thing with the Squid Games is you were scared that the person was going to get killed. Mm-hmm. If you're not going to get killed, although the paintball thing cracked me up. I was like, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Maybe it'll be funny, Ricky. You never know. Maybe it'll be funny. They're not going to die. So nobody's going to kill them. In the game show, do they have to forfeit their organs? No, it's nothing. It's nothing disgusting like that. But anyway, so
is it sad to you that people would put themselves through these exercises for money?
But I mean, that's what game shows are. Right?
Well, not necessarily. Like you could argue, why would I play Jeopardy? If I was selected to play Jeopardy, I would play it for maybe there's a cash prize, but I'm in it because for the love of trivia, for the love of knowledge, for bragging rights, for whatever, not just the money, right?
And
I'm not putting
the money.
I'm not putting myself physically at risk. If I lose, I lose because I didn't have the knowledge.
No, people do all kinds of crap just to be on television. What about Survivor? I love Survivor. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's miserable. They're cold. They're living outdoors. They're hungry. They do for $1 million.
People will say, and maybe they're lying, I'm not here for the money. I'm here because I wanted the experience, the challenge for myself. I wanted to see if I could do it. I wanted to prove it to myself and my children that I was
and get
strong enough.
$6 million.
Yeah, I don't know. This just seems like, getting beaten up for cash.
Yeah, that people do it all the time. All the time. I would rather... And I think that it's also the iconicness, that's not a word, but of the game. Mm-hmm. Like Squid Game was so popular, the series, and to be like on the show, I would just kind of geek out on that aspect of it. Yes, the $4.56 million is great, but to be on the show would be pretty cool. Rod says, I want to be on. What's one? This one. The whole moral of the Squid Game is that people who exploit people in this way are villains. Mm-hmm. True. But we're also in America where people do that crap all the time. I wish there was programs where people are helping each other succeed instead of creating alliances and being dishonest to someone for personal gain, Survivor or Big Brother.
Yeah.
I agree completely. There are those type of shows, but I think they're more like, what is it? It's not Hidden Boss, but that show where the boss goes undercover boss. Right. Undercover boss, where they go undercover and they learn about the employees and then they give them all kinds of money. I mean, it's not like a game show. Like, who could be the nicest? Yeah. I mean, people like conflict. It's like a story, right? JR says people on the show Wipeout get their ass whooped for only $50K. 4.5 will bring a whole new level of unfortunate. I love Wipeout. Wipeout. Have you ever seen that show? It is. They go through these obstacle courses, and it's like
they used to have it on in the newsroom for whatever reason.
Really funny. Yeah. Fear Factor. That's a callback, and I think they still have that show, but I haven't seen it lately. Joe Rogan was the original host of Fear Factor. Liz Riley says Fear Factor. Hello. Yeah. I would not want to be in a coffin with spiders or snakes. I would not want to eat disgusting things.
I don't care how much money you offer.
No. But I will tell you this. One of the number one things that makes it so I don't want to do anything is just being outside with bugs. Like, I'm out. I don't want to be cold, and I don't want anything crawling on me. Like, even right now, saying those words, no, I will not do it. I won't do it for $4.56 million. No, I will not. Because I know I won't survive. I know I will tap out. Like, that's my whole thing. Like, I'm not even going to go through the misery because I know I'm going to tap out. And I don't give a crap what it says about my personality or my mental strength. I don't want to do it. So no,
Randy and I just found something we have in common. I'm a big fan of Amazing Race. Me too. You know what I love about Amazing Race, Randy, is not the challenges where they have to eat bugs or whatever,
Right.
or worms or whatever weird food. I love the resourcefulness of the contestants. How
Yeah.
if you figure out a way, right, to get the earliest flight or a shortcut or whatever, like there's just some thinking ahead. If you manage to be resourceful enough, you could totally kick that game.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I like it too.
Liz or Ron says, I remember Fear Factor. The food part would get me. I'd throw up. Yeah. I'm not going to eat anything either. Like literally whoever's watching Survivor last episode, I love you, but you're twisted. I know. Last episode of Survivor, they did the auction for the food and somebody got these gigantic, and I'm not even exaggerating, this big of, I think they were fish eyeballs.
That just happened on Survivor.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Of the last episode.
I saw that was disgusting.
And he took a big bite of it. And I was like, oh, you don't have to eat it.
I had to look away. I looked away.
I did too. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. No, so no outside, no bugs up my butt. And you know what? I'm not going to eat anything disgusting. So again, that's why I would never apply for the show, because I know I wouldn't survive. I would not be. And I could probably do the relationship and that sort of aspect of Survivor, those sorts of shows, like be likable or try to like work with other people. That's fine. But the minute they depend on me to be cold, eat something gross, or have bugs up my butt, I'm out. Sorry, team. I'm a tapping out. Fish eyes are a delicacy that will not go in this mouth. It's just not going to happen. Rhetorical question. In the event something never existed, is it dead already? We're ending on a deep note from SF Tesla. Thank you. Spencer says these people know what they're signing up for. Those who watch also know what they're getting into. I know. They always ask people, and I always sit on the couch in the comfort of my own home with the blanket on my lap and being like, yeah, I just want the entertainment. I will not be the entertainment. JR, when you were single, would either of you gone on The Bachelor? No. I love myself, but I'm not going to compete with other women. That's just not going to happen. Heather says the episode of Fear Factor where they eat the cave spiders. And they probably were alive and in their mouth moving around. Yeah, Fear Factor was the worst. Yeah, it just... Ms. Organic, I can't even handle boba tea. The texture is too much.
What the hell's in my drink?
You know, and I know that this is going to, and I feel like I've mentioned this before. I won't eat a burrito with whole beans in it because I don't like the feeling of whole beans in my mouth like that. Like if you take a bite and then they go in your mouth, like the softness and the whole bean part, I don't like that texture at all. Reminds me of bugs. I don't like it at all. Okay. Thank you, Natalie. What? Kim's like balls. Natalie says, thanks for the show today, making our long drive to Vegas more bearable. Oh, goodness.
We're going to Vegas with Natalie. What are we playing?
All right. I know.
Put $1 in the Big Bertha for us, Natalie.
We got the gambler over here.
Yeah.
Okay. We will be back live tomorrow. So thank you all for joining us. I know a lot of you might be driving tomorrow. So if you are, like Natalie's going to Vegas, turn us on. You can listen to us live through your radio and everything like that.
You know where else we are right now? We're at the grocery store with, I think it's Grady, who is picking up some yams.
Oh,
purple yams. Yeah, we're all over the place right now. We're having
Send me some of your recipes and pictures of things that you're making and all sorts of things. So we'll have a fun show tomorrow. And then, of course, there'll be new stuff for Thursday and Friday as well. Please, you guys, can you click the thumbs up button to show support for the show before we leave? The super chat, thank you. I lost some of my donations, but Doug gave us a $5 donation. Ren gave us a $10 donation. I know Harry gave us a $5 donation. We might be missing one. But since I rebooted, I lost some of them. So I apologize. But thank you, everybody, for donating to our super chat. Please, please, before the end of the year, before the end of the month, sign up to be an official Medorable by joining our Patreon, our monthly Patreon. You get to decide how much you can afford. We really do appreciate it. All you have to do is go to thenikkimedoroshow.com, click the Patreon link. $1 a day, $2 a day, whatever you can afford. We really, really do appreciate it and love you guys so much. Okay, we'll be back tomorrow. Love ya. Mwah. Bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. Miss Brown, like a beautiful blossom. You're all so the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.